What's up, guys? Nolan here. We got some big news for Gray Zone Warfare. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, they are going to release it into early access. So you guys are going to be able to purchase the game and you're going to be able to play it tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. As we've already discussed, there are 4 packages that you can purchase for the game. The Standard Edition at $35 before tax. Tactical Edition, $57 before tax, or $58 actually, sorry. The Standard Edition at $35 before tax. The Tactical Edition at $58 before tax, the Elite Edition at $80 before tax, and the Supporter Edition at $100 before tax. As you can imagine, these are pretty much the same setup as Tarkov. For the Standard and Tactical Edition, you get a 2x2 secure container. Tactical Edition has a bit more gear and a bit more space in the stash, as well as a bit more extra starting cash. Elite Edition, you get a 3x2 secure lockbox. You get more stash, more gear, bit more cash. Supporter Edition, you get much more stash space. You get a 3x3 for your secure container. You get even more gear, and you get even more starting cash. You also get some cosmetics in game. If I am being completely honest, if you guys have seen my gameplay, if you've seen anybody's gameplay, it is very easy to get very good gear in this game. Not the best gear, just very good gear. Head to any of the major POIs, which is going to be Tiger Bay, Midnight Paradise, or whatever it was up north. I'm blanking on the name at the moment. It was a resort up north. And Fort Nerith. Fort Nerith? I'm actually blanking on that name as well. It's the military air base to the southwest. Fort Nerith? I forget. Any of those locations are going to have AI that are military, and they're going to have M4s that are shooting M855 or AK-74s that are shooting PP, I believe, which are both very solid. You don't need to clear the whole area. You just need to kill a couple of those guys with the ammo from that, and then you're going to be able to farm pretty well. I do not know for sure what faction I am going to be joining. However, it's likely that I join Mithras. So if you guys are wanting to join the faction that I am going to join, it's going to be that. Chances are other Tarkov creators that you guys are interested in are going to have a certain faction that they stick to. So if that's something that you would like to do, I would go check in with those people to see what factions that they are going to join. As of right now, I believe that I'm going to be sticking with the group that I was with before, which consists of Jesse Gazam, Valian, Jay, Gino, Berkey, Airwing Marine, Hambino, and there was definitely a bunch more there. It ended up being kind of crazy that we got that lucky that we had that many people that vibe well together in one team. And then what's also crazier is that the other 2 teams also mixed pretty evenly, so that it was a pretty solid fight the entire time between the 3 factions. So we'll see what ends up happening this time with the added stuff of, you know, everybody's going to be able to play now. I don't know if we're going to be able to do like a whitelisted server kind of deal or something. It's probably going to be rare that I can almost certainly say it's going to be rare that we ever run into people like we did before, but damn was that actually a lot of fun. Some extra news about the game as well, in terms of changes that they've made since the previous playtest. The AI don't just kill you through everything anymore, but yet are still a challenge. No more memory leaks. The AI aren't really stuck in walls anymore, except it says aren't really stuck in walls, so something tells me it still happens. Hit reg is good. Money is a lot more balanced when completing quests. The heli is a lot faster, which makes it better to travel and not have to wait forever. That's awesome. Also, base rating seems to be a lot harder, which is great. I tried to do that when they did make that update to the AI. I don't think that it's a problem anymore, but I'll talk about that there in a second. Also, they improved the stamina, which is a big one. This is also from a dev. They lowered the TTK for AI, time to kill. You can shoot from the helicopter now, and there will also be invulnerability for a brief time after you get off of the helicopter. You also cannot go behind the bases anymore, and there's also, quote unquote, another surprise that will be cool at the base. So if you guys caught my previous video talking about what my concerns for the game were, where I said if you are in it for the PvP, don't buy the game yet, then you'll remember that the 2 major things that I said were how the LZs work and how the base camping works. In my honest opinion, and this was even before the previous test finished, the base rating is tolerable now. However, if they haven't made a change to this, you seemingly can still log into the game and die immediately and lose the stuff that is on you. If that is still a thing, that is ridiculous, and that needs to change. That's stupid. You should not be able to just log into the game just to see what's going on and then die. Now, if you guys are going to be playing, what I highly suggest that you do is, before you log off, you take all of of your gear off and you put it in your stash. Always leave room for a set of gear so that you are just naked, you just have your knife, and then whatever's in your secure container. Because of this, if you happen to go into a game and the base is being raided, you just spawn in trying to play and you can die and you can lose what's on you. So just take your gear off. That's one way of fixing it if they still haven't made it so that you can die when you first spawn it. However, getting into a base is now much harder. They make the AI spawn much faster. They're much better equipped. I was able to get up to the walls with just a handful of people. I was able to kill the AI just alone at the end of the last test there. But actually getting into the base, holding the base, and sitting there to spawn kill people seems very difficult, if not impossible at the moment, because of the way that they have the AI working and how they're respawning up on the roofs. So that might no longer be an issue, is what I'm trying to say there. Now the LZs seem like they could be fixed. However, being able to shoot from the helicopter and then also being invulnerable for a brief time after you get off the heli makes it sound like you can shoot off of the helicopter, but you cannot die in return. That is definitely a set of problems on its own, because if the LZs are still in the location that they're in, then that doesn't solve the problem of them being too close to the POIs, and then you just organically trying to fight or trying to wait for somebody to show up that's a friend, and you're next to an LZ, and then if you get seen, then that's a problem. Now, I think the play here now is if you are next to an LZ, then you need to like wait for that person to really get off of the helicopter, and then we will see how long you are invulnerable for. However long that is, that word will get out. Seems like it's a 2 seconds, so you wait for somebody to jump off the helicopter, give it a quick 2 count, now you can shoot them, then you shoot them. It doesn't solve the LZ camping problem if you're able to wait it out, if you're able to camp it and stuff like that, but at least it gives the person on the helicopter a fighting chance. Now, if you are the person on the helicopter and you happen to come up on somebody that is sitting there and possibly by no choice of their own, maybe they have to sit there or they're waiting for a helicopter themselves, it's something to watch out for. So now what you need to do is you need to, if for some reason you need to be around, generally speaking, around an LZ, you're gonna need to hide. You're gonna want to make sure that you are in cover so that if they are coming in on the helicopter, they can't see you, they can't shoot you, so that you're good to go. Still a bit weird, still potentially a problem on its own, but it's enough to say I think we can cross that bridge when we get to it. I think I like this better than the way that it was working before, but that is the base camping, I think, fixed, and it is at least them addressing the helicopter thing, which are the two major problems that I wanted to see fixed. So we'll see if that ends up being fixed, but at least they addressed it. On the other hand, on the PvE side of things, if this is something that you guys want to go into for the PvE, the base version of the game is, again, in my opinion, a must-buy. I think it is actually fun. I think it's cool, and that's based off of somebody that likes the gameplay of Escape from Tarkov and likes the gameplay of Arma when you're fighting PvE. I understand that not everybody in the world shares that opinion, but that is my honest opinion based off of the 90 hours that I ended up putting into it in 6 days. I genuinely liked it. I like Arma, I like Escape from Tarkov, and I was able to put 90 hours into it in 6 days and enjoy that 90 hours. At the end of the 90 hours, I was pretty well burnt out. I think I was pretty much done with it at the end of the 90 hours there, but that was with PvP included. That was with a lot of problems that we had trying to figure this stuff out. So like I was saying before, if you like Escape from Tarkov and you like Arma, I think that the base version is a must-buy so that you can go and give it a test. You can go give it a try for yourselves. If you're in it for the PvE. If you're into it for the PvP, you're definitely on the fence now, because but where I was saying don't buy it yet before, it seems like this might have been an okay fix for it. It seems like we're going in the right direction, and if this definitely doesn't end up working out, then I think that there's a couple other things that they can do, and they probably will do to fix the LZs, and again, the base camping stuff might be fixed. So here's a bunch of extra stuff that, because of what was happening with Tarkov, I wasn't able to cover this on the main channel. There was a round table with the devs the other day, and they talked about a lot of stuff. So we're going to get a bunch of information here for Gray Zone. If you guys didn't already know, this is from the round table. If you already watched somebody else's video on it, then you're going to already have this information. But if you don't have this information, buckle up. There's a bunch of cool stuff in here. So changes from previously seen gameplay. Fixed a lot of bugs regarding AI being too spongy. More landing zones. Actually, that already answers one of our questions. So they added some more landing zones. That's good. Able to shoot from the heli, already discussed that. Really good defensive base, harder to enter, but still possible, quote unquote, still possible. So again, already covered that. Changed how some rounds interact with characters. We'll see how that ends up working out. We fixed fob attacking being too easy, again with the the base stuff, so already discussed that. Fob guards will be lootable if someone kills them, but not members of the same faction will be able to loot them. So you can't just constantly get geared up if your base is getting raided or if somebody's killing them from outside or something like that. Quote, everything that you imagine will be in the game eventually will be. We want to make the ultimate game. We've heard that before. Let's be honest. We've heard that before. We'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. Here's another quote. Thinking about something, end quote, to be able to identify friend or foe. We want you to think about if the player is friend or foe. Armband is not what we want. Definitely an issue there with positive identification. Definitely an issue. We'll see what they end up doing with it. It doesn't seem like they've made any changes. Maybe they have. Maybe they haven't. We'll find out tomorrow. Will eventually be able to play as rogue for player killers. Faction will get you out, and you'll have to play as a bandit / rogue PMC. Will have limited access to vendors and will have to pay bounties to return to the faction. So rogue playstyles are a thing, or gameplay loops are going to be a thing. But right now they're unsure how to implement yet. We'll see how that ends up going. Next update will have a lot of quality of life fixes like reload canceling while sprinting. PvE mode still confirmed for initial early access release. That is tomorrow. So the PvE mode is going to be available for tomorrow. Access to consoles will come eventually after there are big changes. So they're going to add it to consoles at some point. A roadmap will be released after initial early access release. Every 6 months, there will be a big update. A lot of patches and hotfixes will occur in between the 6-month updates. I believe those 6-month updates include wipes, going to sleep, camping somewhere, and AI behavior changes for nighttime. I do not know if that is included in tomorrow's release. I do not believe that it is. Want to avoid quote-unquote leg meta. Didn't have too much problem with that, but I did kill a few people based off of legs during the test. High-low ready, not planned in current design. Not sure if everybody wants to have it. If a lot of people think it's cool, it will be added. We don't want to have to learn 100 different keybinds. That one in particular is not too difficult. A lot of the Arma people will be able to pick that up pretty easily. I personally would like it. We'll see if they end up adding it. Squad leaders radio. Squad leaders will have a faction radio to communicate with everyone in the faction. That's a big one. We want to have real-time quests. When another faction attacks your base, a special faction quest will pop up to clear the fob, special rewards for killing the raiders, not implemented in the current build. Already changed the economy to stop people from getting a lot of money too quickly. We'll see if that stops me. Challenge accepted. The first update might have items that are able to be sold only for money. So that's going to be tomorrow. Faction changing is not implemented yet. Will come maybe in the first wipe. Will definitely be possible with some limitations, not every day. So I don't know if they're qualifying this as the first wipe or not. I believe we are losing our progress based off of the initial testing. We'll see. There's plans for a personal room, unknown if it will be in the world map yet. Could be in a hub where you're meeting with a lot of other people, like a social hub, as to not take up server space. That is going to be very important. That is exactly what I was asking about, so that you do not get killed at spawn when you're just trying to play the game. That would be ideal. Weather will come. We have big plans. Any or unknown when it will come. Want to play with effects for before / after the rain. It should be very nice. Will be with interact with day night. Ballistic gel for target practice will come, but not now. Karma system. Later there will be consequences for traders, and that's not the barter traders. That is the actual traders. If you kill friendlies, that goes along with being a rogue and stuff like that. The focus for early access is an enjoyable, stable game where the basic loop is working well. That's, again, tomorrow. Weather will for sure affect terrain, flooding, house system will change a lot of stuff. Will take time. GPS / rangefinders planned in the future, unknown when. Certain camps that unlock additional vendors in the future will be a PvP area for people to fight for. Some rewards for winning, like special vendors, or it just says that ends right there. It just ends at or. So not sure what's going on with that one. Dragging removed from initial early access. Postponed. Will be 60% done for the next early access update. It looks so cool. Wasn't possible to do for the initial release. So no dragging. Much later, PvE events. That's just a side note. PvE / PvEVP progression will for now be shared. They will see in the future something. That's the full sentence on that note there. If we find people are abusing / getting a big advantage from the PvE and then use it for PvP, we will react to it. Later, there will be sorting button. Will not be added yet. Dead bodies will attract flies and be more quote-unquote rotten. Maybe in the future there will be jungle animals like monkeys. Animals will react to noise / rounds like monkeys screaming. There's a lot of hidden stuff in the map you have to discover, almost exactly the same as in Laos. Question mark? That's the note there for that one. Maybe some loot, make it more interesting to explore, might be harder. We'll have to make sure people can't abuse it. Cats/dogs in the base might be added when they have time. There is more important work than a dog running around in the fob, for example. Another idea, camping a lot in one place, mosquitoes will abuse you and be louder. Maybe they will implement it. We'll see about that one. So that if you sit in one place too long, mosquitoes are going to get really loud, and it's going to make you not want to sit there much longer. What will not be in the game? No airstrikes. We're not going to be able to call in airstrikes. I hope we can do mortar strikes. We'll see about that. No plan for open market accessible to everybody. Will completely change the dynamic of the game. You can find players and trade items. Will not be an online market. AI changes. Will work on how AI responds to pain. More player-like when hit/injured. More fear for AI when rounds fly near them, so suppression. Working on how AI will be able to find cover, run/evade mechanics for AI coming. It's very difficult because we have thousands of AI. We need to distribute the CPU time between them. So that's from the devs there. We'll see if it ends up getting better there, but that's just something that always happens with these games, and that's why their characteristics are pretty easy to figure out. Because there's only so many that you can add when you make them so advanced. There will be different kinds of AI raiders/bosses with different behaviors. Weapon info. More guns will come. Currently in the game: AR-15, AKM, AK, Glock, TT pistol, Remington shotgun, Remington sniper, Mosin, SKS, another sniper. Around 400 to 600 different weapon parts on early access release. So that is tomorrow. Weapon modification UI will be changed. We have one currently, just have not had time to implement it yet. Around 50 more guns that they want to implement. Quote, special guns for bosses found. Own pistol with special customization. So that's that. That's all the new info that we have. That's early access for tomorrow. I think, again, it's going to be something that you should at least look more into if your first impression was not quite there. I truly did have a lot of fun with it. I'm going to be having more fun with it tomorrow, and I will post another video that leads up to what's going to be going on tomorrow. A bit shorter, just as a heads up, because I'm going to be live on Twitch when this does go up. So if you guys are watching this on April 30th around 2 p.m. Central or later, I am live over on Twitch right now. Link in the description so you guys can come by and ask questions if you're interested. But again, we'll post a video tomorrow as a reminder. Cannot forget the Patreon. Thank you guys for supporting me over on Patreon. If you guys are interested, your name could be up on the screen as well. I post smaller updates up there between daily, weekly, and monthly, as well as ideas that I might have. And you guys have a direct line of asking me for new content that you might be interested in. If that is something that you'd be interested in, link in the description. But other forms of support would be just click all the buttons on the screen or come by a stream. Otherwise, that's going to do it for today, guys. Follow me on Twitter for the latest news on everything that I do, including the other games that I'm interested in, which have their own channels that you're seeing on screen right now between Broken Arrow, Ashes of Creation, and Star Citizen. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.